Hello everybody, this is Joey, and welcome back to the video game setup part 2. This is the second room for it. This is part of my bedroom. I'm not going to do a whole bedroom tour. There's still plenty of other things to do around the bedroom already. There's still things to do in here. This will get changed up a little bit over time, but I at least wanted to record the video game setups close enough to each other to get a feel for what everything is like, especially with one thing I'll talk about in just a moment that will definitely need to be changed. So, in my last video, I didn't even mention where the GameCube games were. They didn't show up on the shelves or anything. They weren't in the cabinets. Well, that's because they're in here. It's a short walk. It's not that bad to go from room to room getting the games. It's fine. I actually have been trying to dabble between that, if I should put the GameCube and Wii stuff in one room versus the other, because I have systems that are backwards compatible. Like this Wii, this original Wii, is backwards compatible with the GameCube. So you can play those. Or I have that out there, and then the Wii U and GameCube in here, you know. But as far as inputs and everything, this worked out a lot better between those systems, so that's where everything is lying right now. This is mostly AV stuff. This one is actually hooked up via component AV, so that way it's taking an extra spot instead of the AV inputs that are already built into the TV, which has also had some updating over time. So I'll get to that in just a moment. For these games, we have the original Xbox available, the Nintendo GameCube, the Nintendo 64, the NES, and also have in here any of the handhelds. So right now it's just the Nintendo DS, 3DS, and the Game Boy stuff. I figured if the handhelds are going to go somewhere that's already busy out there, might as well keep them in here. And if I want to use Wii stuff, like I said, I'll just go fetch those. No problemo. I also have the PlayStation 2 here. Where? It's not actually on the shelf, is it? Well, it's actually been lost in a whole bunch of boxes for a while. Didn't get put away with a whole bunch of the other systems for some reason. And lo and behold, I find it in a random box just last night from recording this video. Just last night, with a bunch of wires and lights. Like, why? Why did it wind up in here? But I'm happy either way that I had still found the PlayStation 2 Slim. So I will still have to hook that up and rearrange a few things in here because of it. I had already planned for it to be here, but I didn't know how soon I was going to find it when I realized it was missing. But either way, AV still hooks up with all of these, and on this big Trinitron Sony TV. So this is... It's funny, because I talked to the friend earlier of the whole process, and they were like, oh, wasn't that the same one that you helped pick up for me like a couple months ago? And I'm like, it's close. It might be. So it's actually great. This was a TV that I picked up again for free, and was one of several in the way of what was actually going to be here. It was also part of the reason why I had to arrange the furniture as I did, because it's big and massive and would have been too much to put it against the door, light switches, and everything like that. This is replacing an older TV that I had that was a bit smaller, and it didn't have any AV inputs built into the TV itself. I always had to hook it up to a VCR to use as a receiver. This seems like a better option all around. It has 4 AV inputs with 1 or 2 component, so it's got just enough to fit for everything here. And I forgot to mention, I have a Tupperware somewhere around here. There it is. Buried a little bit for right now, but that Tupperware has full of plug-and-play games. So if I really wanted to pursue another option for whatever reason, I can use plug-and-plays here as well, and not hog up from any of the other systems that are already in place. And the PS2. That's not up there yet. So it's great. I'm loving how all this is set up. Again, we have a grounded outlet, so that way nothing gets overdone, and any loss of power or outages or anything like that. We're all good. Now, as far as the organization of everything goes, even without the PS2 here, it still needed work. The Nintendo DS and 3DS games, did not like keeping here. I just kind of stuck it there for temporarily, but would prefer to move them so that way it's easier to reach everything else. This is the kind of problem that I had in the other video game setup, where I had a whole bunch of them stacked this way because it would have taken much more space putting them this way, and less games to fit there in total. And then I had like a double layer with it, which again is a cardinal sin of some video game collectors. Guilty as charged for a little bit. I mean, I gotta put SpongeBob SquarePants movie somewhere. I gotta put Tonka Rescue Patrol somewhere. Anyways, it will get moved around, and also figuring out a spot for the PlayStation 2 system, and PS1. Oh, I forgot there's a stack of PS1 games around here too. I gotta put somewhere. They might actually move in this section, or the system might move in this section, one or the other. And then the Game Boy stuff will move elsewhere. I do have a bottom shelf. I could put stuff on the bottom shelf. A whole bunch of the NES games, controllers, Zapper are in that case. I've had that thing forever. And I've actually considered getting a second one because I almost have enough for another unit. Like I have almost have like half as many games to fit into another unit. It would technically take up a little bit more space, but it would actually be easier to organize things. And also I do have the like a few other controllers that would go with it, and I think another Zapper. Like I have 2 colors of the Zapper that could go with it, but I don't know where to find it, or find it at a reasonable price. I think they usually go over $50 for that kind of unit because it's old and it's vintage. Anyways, if it doesn't work, it's fine. So that's why the NES games are down here and all the way up there. It is alphabetical. A bunch of the other systems, I have not done everything alphabetical yet. I've done that with the GameCube, the Xbox. I still have to do that with a whole bunch of everything else, like the DS, Game Boy, and N64, and PlayStation stuff. Got controllers down there in that basket for various systems. 2 of those containers actually have Lego in them, so they're going to move, and it'll be easier to move other things around that by proxy, as far as the whole handheld thing goes. That box, that cardboard box, has Wii accessories. I said that they were all in the cabinet. Not all of them. I don't know if they're going to move all there, because these are mostly the sports accessories and the Wii wheels and things like that. I don't know if they need to be there, if they're always going to be used. So it's fine if it sits here for now. And yeah, and right now I have a couple of the systems hooked up through here. The Xbox, the N64, and the NES. The PS2, that's easy to set up in there. There's another wire splitter right there. So that's all taken care of. And yeah, the thing in the middle has been the AquaZone display from Lego. I found that through Bricklink. It was like a hard to find item. And there's a little sensor bar above it for the Wii. I don't know if it actually works for the original Wii or just the Wii U. I still have to test that out because I've traditionally used it for just the Wii U. It'd be great if it was for both systems, because then that's a lot less wiring to do through here. Some of it I've done right along the side of the cabinet, some of it through the bottom of the cabinet, because there's a very tiny hole in the back there, so I can't really fit as much as I'd like to through there. But still making it all work, and still making it all playable. These systems already play on here and work fine, with no color issues, no sound issues or anything like that. I hope this TV stays and works very well for a long time, even though it's had a bit of wear and tear already. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this update. I'll let you know if something else happens and how the rest of the space looks later. And if you have any recommendations, let me know as well. I'll talk to you later. Peace, love, and fun.